All right, I'm going to go through my interactive module planning template. My topic for my interactive module is the water cycle. Background for this module serves as a self-guided exploration of the water cycle for 3rd and 4th grade students. I did both grades because I know that it is a standard that is touched on in both grades. So I thought it would be valuable for both grades to have this experience. Students will be able to complete this on their own in the classroom, and it will be done completely online. Each objective will have a check for understanding and opportunities for students to go back to review information if necessary. This does follow a next generation science standard. Water continually cycles among land, ocean, and atmosphere via transpiration, evaporation, condensation and crystallization, and precipitation, as well as downhill flows on land. And again, my target audience for this is 3rd to 4th grade students, and the platform for this is going to be Adobe Captivate. First learning objective, students will be able to identify and differentiate between the 4 main stages of the water cycle. So they will discover the 4 stages of the water cycle as an introduction. So at the beginning of this main point, this first slide, students will learn about the 4 stages of the water cycle and use their understanding to identify and differentiate between them. So that will happen within an Edpuzzle video that I'll create that's going to have quiz questions throughout it. That quiz is actually going to be at the end of subpoints 1 through 3, and it will be graded to check for student understanding. That is going to go along with a memory game, just for a little interactivity for students. Both of those things will happen at the end of main point 1. Again, that's Adobe Captivate. I have Edpuzzle in there, and then there will be a GoNoodle water cycle video in addition. So each subpoint is pretty similar, just going through the different stages of the water cycle. The first one, what happens to water during transpiration and evaporation? Students will learn about transpiration and evaporation while watching a video. Then we'll match the terms to their definitions at the end of those subpoints. So it's going to be an Adobe Captivate slide with information and video from Edpuzzle. And then my next subpoint, what happens to water during condensation? Again, passive and interactive. They will watch a video about condensation from Edpuzzle, answer a question asking about examples of condensation they have seen. And then subpoint 3, what happens to water during precipitation? Students will watch a video and read text about precipitation. That memory game will be at the end of that, and then the Edpuzzle video about all of the stages will be at the end, just to check for their understanding. Learning objective 2, students will be able to list at least 3 types of precipitation. The main point here is that students will learn about the types of precipitation. In this, they're going to read about the different types of precipitation, and then at the end, they will list the types of precipitation. So everything in this main point is going to be images with text. All of the text will have audio available in case students would like to listen as they read, or if they just are at a little bit of a lower reading level and they need to hear the text read to them. At the end, it's going to be an open response with matching. So they're going to list at least 3 types of precipitation, and then there will be images there that they can match them to. So if you list snow, you have to make sure you're matching snow to the snow picture. So subpoint 1, they will learn about why and when snow happens. They're going to look at the pictures of snow and read or listen to the text read about why and when snow occurs. Again, those images and text will be a slide within Adobe Captivate. Subpoint 2, very similar, but learn about why and when rain happens. Look at pictures of rain, read the text, and look at the images. And then subpoint 3, students will learn about why and when freezing rain, sleet, and hail happen. And then at the end, they will be listing those types of precipitation. So they're going to look at the pictures of freezing rain, sleet, and hail, read or listen to the text, and then at the end of that, like I said, it will be that matching game, listing the types of precipitation, matching them to their images. The last learning objective is students will be able to explain what happens to water in either evaporation or condensation and apply their knowledge to create a demonstration. So that demonstration is going to be a Powtoon video that they will create. So for this part, when they create the Powtoon video, they will be working with a partner. I thought it would be a little more valuable for students to work with a partner on this, kind of get creative minds together to create their Powtoon video. The main point here is that they will learn specifically why condensation and evaporation occur. So at the beginning, they are going to watch a video, a Powtoon video that I'll create, and use their previous understanding of condensation and evaporation that they've already gained. They've already gone through and gained some understanding from main point 1. And they're going to play hangman just a couple rounds to match the definitions of condensation and evaporation. That'll get them interested. It's a little interactivity, helps motivate them to move on to the next parts and see what's coming up. Subpoint 1, they will learn about condensation and look at examples. Again, they're going to read about condensation. They're going to look at pictures of condensation in the real world. And then they're going to play a matching game. So as far as examples or pictures in the real world, all I mean by that is things that they can relate to. So water on the outside of a glass, water or condensation that forms outside of a window. And the matching game is just simply going to be match the word condensation to actual images of condensation. So that water on the outside of a glass that is formed, the condensation that is formed on the outside of a window, as opposed to something showing evaporation. Subpoint 2, they're going to learn about evaporation and look at examples. Very similar. They're going to read about evaporation, look at pictures, and then play a similar matching game to what they did for condensation, except now they're going to be matching pictures of evaporation. And the last subpoint, this is where they're going to create their demonstration. So they're going to get their directions from Adobe Captivate and then with a partner create their video within Powtoon. And they can choose either condensation or evaporation, but this is really kind of a creative outlet for the students to use what they'd like to show me what they have learned about either condensation or evaporation. So my content resources, Adobe Captivate, possibly PowerPoint, and then various videos and quizzes will be integrated into the presentation for students to explore. Technology tools that I'm planning on using, Adobe Captivate, PowerPoint, Edpuzzle, Powtoon, GoNoodle, and YouTube. So that is it for my planning template.